Welcome back, Math 2. Today we're working on 306 notes. We're going to be multiplying monomials by other polynomials. Remember, a monomial is one term, and a polynomial just means several terms. Okay. And it does not have to be four or more. It could just be more than one. We just refer to polynomials as all of the different types, even if it's just two. Okay. So today we're going to be focusing mostly on distributing. Okay, we're going to be distributing that monomial into the other polynomial. So we're going to multiply that monomial by every term of the polynomial. So a quick reminder about our exponent rules when we are multiplying. So when we multiply bases, remember bases are the big numbers or the exponent, or the variable, I'm sorry, then we add the exponents. Like if I have x times x to the fourth, remember that's really x to the first, so that would all turn into x to the fifth. So that kind of stuff. We have just three basic steps to this. And steps 1 and 2 kind of happen at the same time. I just wanted to have them separated. So with our steps, our coefficients, or numbers in front of the variables, coefficients get multiplied. Our exponents are added. And then, if necessary, step 3 is that we combine any like terms at the end. And that we put it into standard form. Okay, so I have 3 examples for you today. Each one gets a little bit harder just because we move from a binomial to a trinomial to a polynomial, so there's just more to multiply each time. Okay, so let's start with our first example here. So I have the monomial 3x times the binomial 2x plus 1. So I'm going to take this entire thing, 3x, and multiply it first by the 2x. So remember, step 1 is our coefficients are multiplied. So my coefficients are 3 and 2, so that's going to become 6. And then my exponents are added. So that's an x to the first times another x to the first. So this is going to become x squared. 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay. Then I'm going to take that same 3x and multiply it by 1. Okay, so when this happens, I'm going to multiply my numbers. It's a positive 3, but I also have to have my x still attached to it. The x doesn't just disappear because there's nothing for it to add with. Okay. So I'm going to check my last step. There are no like terms. I have an x and then an x squared, so those are not like terms. And it is already in standard form. I have my largest exponent first. So that is my answer. Moving on to my second example, I have negative 5x to the third. That is my monomial, and I'm going to be distributing it in. I'm going to start by multiplying it by 2x to the third. So I'm going to multiply negative 5 times 2 and get negative 10. X to the third times x to the third will give me x to the sixth. Then I'm going to move on to the next one, multiplying by 4x. So a negative 5 times a positive 4 will give me a negative 20. And remember, this is an x to the first, so x to the third times x to the first gives me x to the fourth. Okay. Then we multiply by my last piece. This is actually a negative 7, even though because there's a minus sign in front of it. So if I take negative 5 times negative 7, I'm going to get a positive 35, so it should be a plus sign. And then I do have to still include my x to the third. I don't have any x's with the same exponent, so there are no like terms to combine, and it is in standard form. I go from a 6 to a 4 to a 3 for exponents, so that is the proper order. So that's going to be my final answer. Okay. All right, let's move on to our last example. Okay. I have my monomial 2x squared times this polynomial. There are 4 terms. And I'm guessing I will have to rearrange this into standard form at the end, because if you notice up here, I didn't have to do any rearranging because my binomial and trinomial were already in standard form. This one is not, and I probably have some like terms I'll have to combine. So let's get started. So I'm going to start by multiplying it by 7 first. So the 2 times the 7 makes 14, and I'll just include that x squared on the end. 2x squared times negative 8x to the 4th. Okay, so 2 times negative 8 makes negative 16. X squared times x to the 4th makes x to the 6th. And then 2x squared times a positive 3. So 2 times 3 makes 6. And then I will have an x squared attached. And then 2x squared times negative x. If it would help, you can put a negative 1x. So 2 times negative 1 makes negative 2. X squared times x makes x to the 3rd. Okay. Now I do have some like terms. I have a 14x squared and a 6x squared. Okay. They are both positive, so I'm just going to add them together. They are going to make 20x squared. And then I just want to finish by putting this in standard form. So I need to start with this x to the 6th. Now the 16 in front of it is negative, so I want to make sure I have a negative 16 x to the 6th. My next largest exponent is an x to the 3rd, so I'm going to bring that piece down. Negative 2x to the 3rd. And then I'm going to end with this positive 20x squared. That will be my final answer.